Yesterday, two photo ops with the pool press. The Associated Press reporter, not photographer, was barred from them in response to the Associated Press refusing to change what they call the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. I will say, Brit Hume and others have been critical of the administration. I predict that by Caroline's briefing, they'll have changed the policy. That's what I think is going to happen. But I'll also say this: what they're doing is wrong. It's potentially unconstitutional, which is a strong thing to say about a handling of the White House press corps. I said potentially, Sean. I don't agree with that characterization myself, but Britt and others have said so. Here's what I would say for people on the left and in the press who are all up in arms. Where was your outrage when the Biden administration did basically the same thing? They basically treated reporters differently based on what they wrote and what they said. And you can be all outraged at violations of the executive branch, like what Donald Trump's doing. Absolutely, the press should be diligent. The press should be complaining about this, barring an AP reporter. But where was your outrage when Joe Biden and AOC said, let's not follow what the courts say? Where was your outrage when the New York Post was barred from open press events where there were plenty of seats simply because they covered the alleged, now confirmed, decline of mental acuity on the part of the president? So please be outraged about this, but please ask yourself, where was the outrage on the part of the press last administration? Sean, the ball is on the tee. You first.
Well, I would, yeah. Where was your outrage when Corinne Jean-Pierre stripped 400 hard passes from independent journalists? Where was your outrage? I mean, the list goes on and on. When the Biden administration refused to take questions from outlets that they didn't like. So again, I think there is a question about meeting with them and saying this has become it's a new law. And it's been proclaimed by the government. The Google has accepted. It's now widely accepted. I mean, the AP
It's
does a
not a
good
law.
job.
It's not a
No,
law.
I'm sorry. It is an executive order renaming it. The government agencies are following, so it's not like it's some made up one-off thing. It is now policy of the executive branch. And my point is the AP manipulates language all the time. They decide to call things, capitalize things. There's a whole style book built around how they want to manipulate the English language. So just to be clear though, remember just so everyone understands this, they didn't lose their pass. They can cover the president. This is a rotation in which somebody else was subbed in for them, right? So why are you shaking?
Because
what have I said that's wrong?
I want you to say that the White House shouldn't have done it.
Oh, again, that wouldn't have
It's
been
the
what I would have
Associated
done.
Press.
No.
They
But
shouldn't
I
have done
also
it,
think
right?
that,
They should rescind this. They should let the AP back in the pool, correct?
yeah, I mean, it's a bigger issue because, again, it's way nuanced. There's a price you pay to join the pool rotation, and they've anteed up. Now, going forward, I would argue they could say, hey, you guys aren't going to do this. Here's what, don't expect the following or whatever. I think there would have probably a better tactic that could have been
But it
used.
can't. But you agree that they should make these decisions based on news decisions made by organizations, correct?
Well, I mean, I think there's a difference between being in the pool where you're representing and your goal is to represent things
Here,
than having access. In other words,
here's the
if I'm
no.
allowing you to be
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is the AP. This is not NBC News. This is not
correct,
Politico.
and
The
the
AP
AP,
provides pictures and stories to small news organizations around the country and around the world.
no, but Mark, no. See, you're misleading people right now. I'm not arguing that the AP can't do its job and get access. Should they be the pool lead on print, which is what on the wire service, which is what they are. And if they're not going to do their job and accurately report what's happening by manipulating language, then yes, everyone in the country who relies on that pool reporter, it's not about the AP. Your job in the pool is to represent print or radio or wire. And if you're going to manipulate language to espouse an ideological bias, then at some point there's a price to pay for that. They're not doing their job. Their job isn't, they still have press credentials. They can sit in the briefing room. They can ask questions. They can walk up. They can do whatever they want. That's the First Amendment. They don't have a right to come in and manipulate what everyone else sees, reads, and hears.
Dan.
I don't think they have an ideological, axe to grind.
Oh, they do. They're
Oh
not as left. They're not as left wing as the Washington Post, but they're plenty left wing.
Okay. I mean, maybe they're part of the resistance and they're just going to plant the flag on the Gulf of America. I think most people don't really care. And I think that administrations have had a naughty and nice list for as long as I can remember. You don't, you're super critical or you do something they don't like, they don't call on you for a while. They kind of try to make your life a little difficult. And, it's politics. It's not just here. It's all over the place. Probably best that they restore it, but I don't think too many people are paying that much of attention to this.